Hey guys, Sunstreaker Wozza here. Welcome back to another Thursday live stream where, yes, as always, covering the hot topics in Transformers Earth Wars. So if you are watching live, big thank you for tuning in. And yes, in the description, like it says, today we're going to be covering some of the decisions sort of made by spaceape recently. I'm looking back at maybe some questionable decisions and thinking, is it the right thing for the game? And having that sort of discussion. We're also going to talk a bit about squad cores. And put in the chat, let me know, do you use squad cores on your team? I know that some people will run multiple teams for events, things like that, and no doubt you probably got some squad cores on there. But in terms of wars, in terms of top level gameplay, do you use squad cores? Let me know in the chat. And then we're also going to be talking a bit about Ruination and where he sort of fits in the game after sort of a recent, how do I put it? Hard to describe what it was. It's not a nerf, it's kind of a fix. But did it come a bit too late after people have already leveled him, things like that? Did they just not know? I don't know. We're going to talk a bit about Ruination and God Neptune, like I said, and still sort of judging if they are the best combiners in the game still. So yeah, all that to come. But first, let's have a look in the chat. Let's see who we have got. So first, we've got Erods. How's it going? We've got Jason Roller. We've got two. We've got Penny Lancaster, one of my members. Big shout out to all my members. Big thank you. We've got Osvaldo Rojo. We've got Carnage Mac R8. We've got Charlie Plays as well. We've got Lord Avix. We've got Chris Harmon, one of my members. We've got Chip Cox. We've got Ricky Lau. We've got my brother Grind Time. Yo. We've got Blade 19 as well. We've got Autobot Phil. We've got Tony B. Matt Pauly. How's it going? We've got Lou Mega 1, 2, and 3. We've got Candyman. How's it going, brother? We've got Chris Taylor. We've got Hellraiser. We've got Swoop. We've got Fogs the Bomb. How's it going? We've got my buddy Chris Lewis. Good to see you as well. We've got D-Deck76. We've got Michael Cooper. We've got Aldog77. We've got my brother from my line, Smoke Cheese, fellow playtester as well, who I talk about, complaining about the game a lot too. We've got Loki as well, and I think that is everyone. Apologies if I have missed someone in the chat. But let's have a look what everyone's been talking about. So I want to talk about when the next HQ phase is coming. We're going to talk a bit about that when we talk about some of the decisions that they've made recently and talk about, balance. So we'll be talking a bit about that as well. Yeah, HU19 is way off. Way off. Way off. Way off. And as always, got my nice cup of tea. Still a bit hot yet. Ooh. What else been talking about? Let's have a look. Grind Time, no squad cores used. Chris Taylor, no. Chris Lewis, never used them. No squad cores. Michael Cooper. Penny Lancaster Spot. I've used a couple of squad cores, but not in war teams. I have 5 or 6 G metal cores, but poles are horrible. And normally are just silver cores. Yeah, well that's part of the issue as well. Grind Time Shenanigans. That's a good yeah. It's a good name to use, yeah. Shenanigans. DDX76 haven't used squad cores in a long while now. Chris Harmon uses ground force attack to buff the warriors. Penn Lancaster, what's happened to Ruination? Mine has been the cooker for level 25 since Sunday. We'll talk about that as well. Matt Polis, squad cores are used by many in my Alliance family. I use a lot in farming teams, but don't have the cores that would suit my team. Blade 19, it's going well, buddy. Going well. Penn Lancaster, did they discover that Ruination was a bit OP like you and I were talking about when I called it a nerf? You said it might be. Yeah, we'll talk, like I said, yeah. Basically hit the nail on the head. What we were talking about, yeah, they've sort of fixed that, so yeah. Charlie plays prime cores are just so much better. Hard to even fit in G1s much. That's a fair point. Yeah. MIA Phillies put that new Rust gun is pretty cool. I suggest you go and find out. Go and watch my video on that before you make any decisions. Grand Time, it better be tea Earl Grey hot. Oh, it's just wrong. No, yours is wrong. A proper brew. Exactly, my Paul's put it's not a cup hot, it's a brew. Yeah, fair point. Yeah. Two, what's your opinion on the new Titans? Ooh, where do I start with that? Looking good. I've done a bit of video on them. I still think there's a bit of balancing maybe to do. I don't even know. I've tried to stay out of it a bit because it's a bit of a mess, really. But they're looking good. I'm starting to think they could be a necessity in wars, especially. Looking very good, looking very powerful. I just hope they're working as they should. I've not tested them really in that sense. I've had a bit of a go, but that's it. Yeah, looking pretty good. Yeah. Whether I agree with the timing of it and whether I agree with the actual points for it and things like that, that's another story. But yeah, looking pretty good. Shiny 523, the clutch there, just jumping in. Hi guys. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, and Chris Taylor's put didn't love Ruination, mad after what they did to Skyrain. Yeah, Skyrim wasn't too bad, but it's a bit naughty into. But again, we're going to be talking a bit about that. Anyway, so let's jump into the newsletter and then we can have a bit of a chat about some other things after that. Apologies. So this week's event is called Portents, if that's right. Portents. I've never heard that word, I'm honest with you. So let me in the chat. Let me know what it means. You know, I think I've got quite a broad vocabulary. I'll say that I can't find the words for it, but quite a broad vocabulary. But I've never heard that word before. So let me know in the chat what it actually even means. I don't even know. But hey, portents. I presume that is what it's called. Oh dear. So Barry, right now we've been along. Make sure to check out our web store. I checked it out and there wasn't much in there this week. Just to let you know. But this weekend's event is an Alliance Totalizer. Why is it? There we go. Alliance Totalizer. 1 prestige, and you can get up to 60 Ruination and God Neptune Combiner crystals. Very good event, this guys. Very good. Not only because it gets you probably one of the best combiners in the game, gets you a good chance of it, but also a lot of the bots that make up Ruination and God Neptune are very good bots as 4 stars. So if you are a mid-level player, I would recommend sort of going for this and give it a go. Just because of the bots you can get, obviously it helps with the combiner as well. If you're a top level player and you've already got Ruination, then yeah, you know, you can get a bit of combiner spark to help level up your combiner. So yeah, pretty decent. Up to 40 premium combat chips, which is here and there really, but I presume it might help lower guys try and get some 4-star combats. Talk to some sort of low to mid to low level guys that I was in an alliance with a while back, and they said the hardest thing was trying to get 4-star combat. So any opportunity we can get, I'm all for. Up to £350,000, £350,000 combiner spark, which is also good for leveling combiners. 2,500 4-star shards, 3-star shards, and 60,000 premium crystal shards as well. So pretty decent event. Yeah, not bad. And considering that 445k you can get all the Ruination and God Neptune crystals, that's pretty decent. And even if you don't get that far, guys, you can still only missing out on 10, so you still get 50, just finishing at 340,000. So not too bad. And in game updates and information, so they have extended the pass to 5 weeks to last over the Christmas period. I was worried that they might put the points up to get the skin cores, but they haven't, so it's still easy to get, so touche. And then obviously from the competition, We have got the 2 Sensia skins that you can get from completing the pass. And then they put new player levels coming. So they've increased the maximum you can get from 96 to 100. Not going to affect a lot of guys in the game, but it will affect a few. It just means you get some extra coins and extra resources and stuff like that. I presume these coins are involved with going up a level each one. It does most. So yeah, pretty good. It's easy addition to make. Then go and check out your content creators. Obviously myself, NJ Hoist, Thesis Max, and Soldier. And then we've got a breakdown of the saga, and obviously Alliance Souls Laza this week. We've got the 4-star Titan event, which is the week after. Then we've got 2 10k easy events over Christmas, and then into the new year we've got the new bots. So these bots are not in testing yet, not had them yet, which kind of worries me, because I'm pretty sure we've got 2 weeks left before spaceape break up for Christmas, and then they don't come back until I think the 7th of Jan, maybe a bit longer. I think it might be the actual 9th of Jan, I think it is. I think. I'm not too sure, but everyone that I know breaks up on Christmas Eve on the 24th and comes back on the 9th. It's finishing late and then going back late over in the UK. So, you know, considering everyone breaks up on the 24th of December, we've only got like 2 weeks left to balance these bots, and we've not even got them yet. Not a clue about them. So, gonna be fast and furious, I think, balancing these bots, sadly, which worries me. But hey, then we've got our normal community corner with our pictures and stuff like that. Pretty cool. And then bug fixes and improvements. So we've got the Cosmic Rust Blaster. So they received feedback regarding the AoE being smaller than it was in test. So that has been fixed. Ruination and God Neptune received reports about tidal wave and gusting having issues. I don't even know what that is, but these have had issues in test. But hey, let's wait and see. Blue Streak and Wild Rider. Animation wasn't showing up, which shows whether the speed or health reduction had any effect, and a VFX has been added to that. I don't even know if that was even in test, I'm not too sure, but hey, that's a good one. They received a ticket from a player regarding Prowl's G1 having an issue where the meter showed a percentage damage of what? I don't even think. I presume it wasn't leveling by any percentage. So yeah, so I presume by fusing cores. I don't know. Did it mean you didn't get a percentage increase? I don't know. And an interesting one, Double Deal was triggering the purple block glitch. This happened to me a few times, and I very much doubt that Double Deal's in an outpost every time. So I think there's more to it than just Double Deal. I thought it was a lot of acid stuff, but I could be wrong. But as far as I was concerned, it's something to do with acid. We're showing up as purple, so we'll have to wait and see in terms of that. But the next team stream is on the 21st of December, which I presume they're going to release the bots then. So I'm planning on taking a break over Christmas for, I think, 1 week, which will be around the 28th, I think it is, something like that. 28th, yeah, I think the 28th I won't have a stream over that. But my plan is to have plenty of content in between then. If the new bots, I might have to change the day just because it's Christmas, because obviously I'm busy in work over Christmas. So if the new bots are sort of in testing around then and not complete by then I might show them then. It depends on them, basically, on spaceape. We might work something out, but if I do miss it, it'll just be one stream in between Christmas and New Year, and yeah, back to New Year as normal. But yeah, go and check out the team stream on the 21st. Cool. Okay, let's have a look in the chat. Well, I drink my brew. We're nearly done the mat. See what everyone's saying. Let's have a look. So, Mike Costells, can you speak a little Spanish? Very, 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 very little. Basically, I learned it. You got to talk to Jacob today, that's it. So, obviously, I'm not even going to do it. I'm not going to embarrass myself, but very, very little. Not enough to even get by. It's just a few words. Citrus Huddle. Good to see you. Thanks for joining the stream. I presume it's your first time. Good to see you. Grind time. A sign or warning that something, especially something momentous or... All right. It's like... All right. Okay. Good to know. That's in terms of importance, and I presume that's how you pronounce it, but yeah. Well, yeah, something big is going to happen, isn't it? Obviously, Titan, so yeah, makes sense. Chip got support. Things to come, basically. Matt Paul's event seems decent. Yeah, it just seems decent. Yeah, it does, yeah. Joker, how's it going? Good to see you as well. William Edward Hatman, how's it going as well? Chris Taylor, love the Sentius twin skins. I do like the community aspect of it. I do like they've asked the community. You know, we've gone with it, so I like that. Jason Rowley, leveled Ruinations 20, perfect level to try him out. I'm literally maxing mine out. I think he comes out the cooker tomorrow. I've got some skips, but I don't know what to do yet. We'll talk about that in a bit. David Awari, hopefully it's T800 Terminator crossover, the enemy of my enemy. I doubt it. I doubt they're going to do a crossover. You got to think, in terms of crossovers, they've got to get the rights from the other company to put it in. They can't just do it. So I very much doubt they're going to have the rights to any sort of Terminator crossover. William Hatman's, but what the new bots anyway? You tell me, bud. Not even know. Grind time. Ugh, skins. Waste of time. Some are pretty cool. Some are. But not all of them, but yeah. And Chips Cox has got mine's at 20. I presume you mean Ruination. I presume everyone's around 19, 20, yeah. Cool. Okay. Let's go into the game and have a chat. Cool. So this week we are on my actual live account. We're not on the test server. There's not much to show test server wise, really. Like I said, we'll go on there when we're talking about Ruination. I did want to try and show Ruination on defense, but because the test server you can literally load your combine up for like weeks at a time, I've got another week on Skyrim before I can even show Ruination on defense. So the plan is next week I'll try Ruination on defense, but I think by then most people will have him. I don't know. I might even load up God Neptune on my Decepticons account, maybe. I'll have to have a look at it. Might have a go with that today, maybe, but we'll have a look. We'll see what we can do. But first off, I want to have a look at squad cores. So squad cores were introduced to the game a long time ago. And I would love to sit here and say that squad cores at one time were relevant and everyone used them. And just as content has increased, they just fell away from the meta. I would love to be able to sit here and say that, but it's not true. They've never really been in the meta. And you got to ask yourself, why? And I think for a long time, the reason was people weren't prepared to put multiple of one thing on their teams. So multiple warriors or multiple gunners or multiple jets. I think for a long time, people had a lot of special bots. I think people sought after the special squad cores because everyone ran special bots. But as we know, once you get to top levels of the game, those special bots, we find it really hard for them to stay alive because they lack the HP. And that's hence why the Warriors got their massive buff in terms of HP and their shielding. And so Warriors have become kind of a necessity in top level gameplay. The likes of Pipes and Ironhide and Rook are a mainstay on pretty much everyone's war team at the top level. I did a video a while back around Blaster fading away from the meta. And so people will still run multiple warriors. So you've also had a bit of a, I won't say a buff, a bit of an increase in the usability of gunners. With Smokescreen being really viable, 6-gun, Sea Spray, Skids. So a lot of gunners are doing really well in the game. Some jets doing well, especially with the likes of Air Raid, likes of SG Jetfire. So with all these sort of classes coming to the forefront, you've got to ask yourself, surely squad cores would make a comeback and be quite relevant. And I think there's a few things why they're not. This kind of video is kind of ode to spaceape to maybe look at this and think, this is something we could do and something to make people chase new cores, and change the layout of their teams. And I think a good point that someone brought up in the chat earlier was that prime cores are kind of all powerful, and that's why a while ago I sort of asked the question to people that should prime cores be all powerful? Because if you always say prime cores should be all powerful, then we'll never bring any new content out around cores. And I think G1 cores are a bit of a in-between. I think there is a place for G1 cores on war teams, but prime cores take a precedent. So looking at my war team, for example. So looking at my war team, this is my general war team that I run. I have recently switched out skids for smokescreen, but generally we've got smokescreen with a G1 core. I think his G1 suits him really well. We've got Rook, who has a prime core, which is Quintus. We've got Sea Spray, who I've recently put a squad core on, and I'll talk about why shortly. Before that, it was Volatile Mixture. I think that any real gunner that does a high level of damage needs a Volatile Mixture. Roadbuster has his G1 to increase damage. Minerva has Alpha Prime Core, so another Prime Core. Pipes has my Cronus, so another Prime Core. Brainstorm has an EO Core, obviously to increase damage. And then Sitz Gun has a Volatile Mixture to increase damage as well. So generally, most gunners, most air class will have a Volatile Mixture or an Enhanced Ordnance to increase their damage. Outside of that, if a G1 core increases the bot's damage, that tends to be its go-to. Outside of that, it'll be a prime core. So certain prime cores are really essential, sometimes less much. So I know that Quintus is pretty much a mainstay along with Alpha Trion. And then a few others scattered in between. So you can Liege and my Cronus are two of the really popular ones. So the question is sort of, why is there no place for squad cores? Is it because they're not powerful enough? Is it something else? So looking at the squad core that I've put on Sea Spray. So we've got Artillery Command Flat Jacket. So it increases special ability damage of the equipped bot by 13%. Reduces damage by 28% for mortars and missile launchers for all other gunners. Now on my team, I actually run quite a few gunners. So we've got 6 gun, we've got Sea Spray, we've got Smokescreen. So I run 3 gunners. So that's quite considerable. Outside of that, I've got 2 warriors. So I could maybe run a warrior squad core, maybe. 1 special, 1 air, and 1 healer. So outside of a gunner core and a warrior core, there's no real need for me to put any squad cores in. So that's why I've chosen the gunner core, simply because I've got the most of that class in my team. So comparing what you would normally put on Sea Spray, and that's a Volatile Mixture. So if we compare the two, we're talking 13% ability damage from the Artillery Command, and we're talking 13.5. Sorry, it's even more than that. Sorry, no, it's not. And then we're talking 15.5 for the Volatile Mixture. So about 2% extra damage. So you got to think a 2% reduction, 2.5% to run a squad core is not a considerable amount of reduction, but it is a reduction. And then the 28% reduction of damage from mortars and missile launchers is okay. It's not amazing. So I think the main reason in terms of why people don't run squad cores is because damage is so important in your bots. And you will normally level a bot to a certain point so that it can do X. And if you are risking dropping a Volatile Mixture for a squad core so that bot can no longer do X, then I don't see how people are going to do that. Because you need that bot to do a specific job. So I think that an easy solution for these squad cores is to match them up with the Volatile Mixture. So, for example, this Artillery Command, rather than 13%, should do 15.5%. Now, you could say, well, that makes it equal to the Volatile Mixture, and you would make Volatile Mixture sort of, inherent. You wouldn't really use Volatile Mixture anymore. But the thing about artillery command is that you need multiple gunners in your team. So the downside of that is, yeah, you could put this on instead of volatile mixture. But then to get the benefit of that, you need multiple of that bot. So for example, if you're a low level player and you're running, again, 2 gunners, 1 jet, 1 special, and a mixture, are you really going to put this core on and then switch out your whole team to take effect of this core? Now, I know a lot of top players could do that. I could swap out Brainstorm, say, and put another gunner in there maybe, or put another jet in there and use another squad core maybe. And so I think it sort of makes people sort of question on their choices of their team composition. So you could say, listen, I'm going to get rid of volatile mixture, I'm going to put artillery command on, and I'm going to find another gunner to put into my squad and run multiple gunners just to take effect of this core. That can mean people will go, you know what, I've got this bot there, I'm going to go and level this bot. It encourages people to level more bots, to use more bots, to chase more bots, and that can only be a good thing. But it needs to be competitive with volatile mixture. And I always say in this game that there should be a positive and a negative. And the positive is that it matches volatile mixture, and you're getting reduced damage from mortars and missile launchers. Brilliant. The downside of that is you need to run multiple gunners to take effect from it. Now, again, if that's a choice you're willing to make, you should benefit from that. You know what? I've got this core. I've got these gunners. I need to maybe level a bot or 2 to take effect of it, but I'm going to do that. And I was just by chance lucky enough to have 3 gunners in my team. And I noticed this. I thought, yeah, you know what? I'm going to level this and I'm going to use it. And it sort of helped me a bit, I think, in wars, I presume. So the other question is, you know, outside of that, if they did make these relevant to enhanced ordnance cores, to volatile mixtures, if they did, then what is the other factor possibly making it so people aren't really using these squad cores? And the one for me is plain and simple, the cost. And so looking at squad cores, you're talking 500 Shaniks for a squad core, which is not expensive at all. 500 for one squad core is pretty cheap. Obviously with a chance of a silver, gold and a G metal. Now the chance of a G metal is 10%. So you would say roughly you have to spend 5,000 Shaniks to get a G metal squad core. But the problem is that there is so many squad cores that trying to get the one you want in a G metal can take you a lot of Shaniks. So I've used quite a bit of Shaniks, and I thought I'll see what I get out of them. So I think I used 20k Shaniks, so a 1 in 10 G metal, and I was looking for a warrior one. Thought something around warriors would really help, and I thought that maybe the ground command would be alright. It restores 1.7% health, it bots health every 5 seconds, and a reduction from auto cannons, laser turrets, and shock towers. So I got another artillery command, which I don't really need because I've got 1. I got a medical command, which I only run 1 healer, so I didn't need. And then I got special command. I thought, oh, special command sounds pretty good. If I could increase the ability damage of, say, Roadbuster, I might consider using 2 special bots. But sadly, it adds health and reduced damage from mortars and missile launchers. There's nothing around squad cores reduces damage from, say, the MDS. Now, the biggest one for me, the biggest problem, the biggest thing that I look at on a base is obviously the cores. So you're talking Megatronus, you're talking Liege. Yes, Micronus is important in terms of defense, but that's because that's healing the MDS, because it's healing the Liege core. The problem is the Liege core and the MDS, not the healing core itself. That's just protecting the defenses that are important, the cores that are important. And so we should have a squad core that helps against MDS if we want them to really be successful. But they protect against things that aren't that important anymore. So in terms of mortars and missile launchers, I don't think they're that dangerous. For me, when I look at a base, I look at the cores, which I generally put on things like cannons and shock towers. And I look at the MDS and the score and the cores around that protecting it. So, like I said, I spent 20k Shanix and got 3 G metal, which is a good drop rate, but I still didn't get any that I wanted. And if you look through, I mean, you've got Special Command Attack, you've got, obviously, like I said, Special Command Flat Jacket, you've got Medical Command, you've got Artillery Command, you've got so many squad cores that you could probably get. And you can see there that I've still only got 9 golds even. And not that much. So, I mean, I've used some of the silvers to repair, but the chances of getting X core is a lot of Shanix. Now, I reckon if I wanted to get a specific core, you're probably talking around 50k Shanix, I reckon, maybe even more than that. And people haven't got them Shanix to run around. So it's a mixture of the amount of squad cores that are there, it's a mixture of the cost of squad cores, and a mixture of they don't give you really that much advantage. So I think if spaceape really want to make squad cores relevant again, they need to give them a bit of buff, bit of improvement to make them online with the likes of volatile mixture, enhanced ordnance. And I think they need to increase the drop rate as well because of the amount of squad cores that there actually is. Because even when you get one, then you've got to level it as well. And Shanix is not that easy to come by. Yes, it is a free resource, but these are not, they're like gold dust. They're like unicorn crap. They're hard to come by. So I'm hoping spaceape will look at this, make some small changes to make squad cores relevant again, because as we saw in the chat earlier, the amount of people that have squad cores even, they just don't use them because they're not really relevant, because there's better cores out there in terms of G1s and prime cores. So hoping spaceape will sort of see this video, look at this and go, yeah, maybe we missed a trick here, maybe they've forgotten these cores, maybe these cores are long gone, maybe they won't see this, maybe they won't change them, and maybe we'll never use squad cores, and that's just one of them things in the game, which is quite sad really. It's some content that came out, never quite made it, never quite balanced right, and never been used. So there's an avenue there for them to try and change the meta a bit and make some more bots a bit more relevant, hopefully. So let's see what everyone sort of put around squad cores. Just have a look. Loki, is that the war team using against Psyops? Yeah. Worded really poorly. Yeah. It was a good base, to be fair. I'm not even sure why. I think, yeah, so for those that don't know, I don't mind telling. I think I flamed out on base 2 against Psyops, which I've not flamed out on a base less than commander in a long time. A long time. And, yeah, don't know what it was. But, yeah, couldn't beat that base. But then played 1 prime yesterday, and I think scored 285, was it? I think against 1 prime, 285, yeah. So dropped a couple of base 1 and 2, weirdly enough. But yeah, you know, just a weird base because couldn't beat. But I suppose everyone has their, you know, sort of Achilles heel in terms of bases. But I have done something to combat that, which I'll talk about in a minute. But yeah. Yeah, Candyman's put, I got 10 squad cores from the Shanix store, and they were all silver. Never bothered again. Fair point. Shiny523 has put, squad cores are good. Problem is the drop rate. Spent about 40 50k Shanix trying to chase an air attack one and gave up. Rather spend on combat spark. Yeah, exactly. There's better things to spend on because they're not relevant, hard to get. I mean, I did it. Like I said, I was chased trying to get a you know, a certain core and just couldn't get it. Julio Espejo, is that right? Hi everyone, I don't understand. Well, the arc is going to be a Titan, but I see the arc is embedded in the mountain. Yeah, it's a fair point. I don't know why they just didn't edit it out, to fair. It could be quite easy just to put some artwork in there, wouldn't it? Just edit it out and say they got it out, they get out of the mountain, maybe. I don't know. You could make a whole story about it, but there's going to be 2. There's going to be 1 in the mountain and 1 out of it, so yeah. Matt Poley, what about the gunner attack squad core? I think the ability increase is higher. I don't think it is, you know. I think it's slightly low. I think they've all been balanced slightly lower. Candyman, haven't seen any squad core weekend bundles either. Yeah, I think they know. I think they realise. Chris Taylor, I'm thinking prime core should be the top shelf core, being that they are considered like ancient artifacts with great power. Yeah, I get both sides of it. I get that. If I'm talking low, then yeah, I get they should be the top one. I get that. If I'm talking game balance, then where do we go from here? What's the next level? You know, if we're saying that prime cores are the penultimate, not penultimate, sorry, the ultimate sort of, into the cores in the game, then we'll never get new cores that are relevant because they can't compete with prime cores. So, we're sort of stuck in a rut. We're sort of stuck there. Prime cores have got to be all supreme. Joker Sea Spray versus Warpath. The number one is still yet to be determined. Interesting debate. Yeah, both good. But yeah. Chris Taylor squad coach just ain't doing enough. I agree. Who next? But I need more bots, bro. Go and get him. Go and get him. Smoked Cheese put Shanix being the only way to get squad cores is part of the problem. Maybe. Shanix put, I don't buy these drop rates, by the way. Feels broken. Maybe. I mean, I got 3 in 20, so my drop rate was fine. But I just got all cores I didn't want. That's a problem. Chris Taylor, you go and purchase squad cores and the most you get is a silver core. I would love to try it, but I'm not wasting all my Shanix. Mark Cooper, was MDS in the game when squad cores came out? No, not by chance. Squad cores were out years ago, but they never updated it. They never brought a new squad core out, say, anything like that. Because everyone would go for it. Everyone would chase it like hell. But then I like that. I'd like the fact that they could bring out a squad core that reduces the damage from the MDS. But then where'd you put it? You've then got to find a place for it in your team. If someone said to me, "Listen, here's a core Wozza. Put it on your team. It reduces the damage from MDS by 30%." I'm not sure right now where I put it. I think every core in my team is relevant. Yeah, I'm struggling actually. Yeah, I really am. Everyone's either got a prime core. Everyone's got a core that increases their damage. So obviously apart from Sea Spray, but well, yeah, even that does. Yeah. So everyone's got a core that increases their damage, apart from Pipes, who has a prime core, Rook, who has a prime core, and Minerva, who has a prime core. Yeah. So I don't know where I put it, but it's a good conundrum to have. That's the point I'm making. They balance these items, well, and it gives you a conundrum on where to put it. It makes you choose other things and increases the variety in teams. What else? Candyman, I fused what little squad cores I had and never looked back. Don't blame you. Mercenary Terror, how's it going? Thanks for joining. Spencer394, but I think squad cores could be helpful for bots that don't have a G1 core. Maybe, but then are you going to put a prime core on? So that's a big question. So yeah. My poll is put, just checked, gunner attack squad core is 13% SA damage for a quick bot. Yeah, 13% is still lower than a volatile mixture. So, yeah. And a 7% increase for all gunners' normal attacks. So, yeah. A decent one. Yeah. Increases damage rather than survivability. But 7% increase is not much. So, what we need is cursed cores. Major increase, but at cost like HP or damage. I do like playoffs like that, I do. Grand time for me, Warpath beats Sea Spray hands down. Maybe. But yeah, Tony B both are really good, true. Shiny's put glass gas with infinite range is way too OP at the minute. The need PL effects where FFDs negate glass gas. I'm not opposed to that. I'm not opposed to any cores around build bots because there's so many that you got to take one off to put one on. So yeah, I'm all for that. Spencer394's put, I thought of something with prime cores. Maybe they could add weapons that amplify the effect of the prime cores. Maybe. I don't know. Is that a bit of a tricky route to go down? I don't know. Joker's put, I'm with you, grind time. Hey, Wozza, how about a hit on base 1 in War? Yeah, can do. I can do that live on stream later on at the end. Can do, no problem. But yeah, while we're on the subject, so basically, after I lost to Sai, and I think this is what people need to realise, that after I lost to Sai, um, I sort of spoke to Tech. I was like, I don't get why this base is causing me problems. I don't understand. I'm baffled by it. And Grindstand's reply was, I told you, you need to go and get Warpath. I was like, I'm not going getting Warpath. And then within an hour, I had Warpath. So I thought, that's it. I'm that having this. I'm not losing any top wars when there's an easy solution out there. So yeah, decided to pull Rodimus Prime first pull. Quite disappointed. Although it could be pretty good on a Russian smash. I think out of the 4 bots, obviously Warpath was the one I was aiming for, and I think my second choice would have been Rodimus for a Russian smash team. I've always wanted him for that part of that team. So yeah, went and got Warpath. So my idea is for the Titan event is that I'm gonna level Warpath up. And so Warpath is currently level 50 in the Cooker 9. And so by the time he gets to like 60 odd, then I'll take him to 11. So I'm going to level him up. I've also got Drift and Rodimus and Scattershot to level as well a bit. In the event, I'm also going to level Air Raid. Air Raid looking very good. Seen a lot of good things from Air Raid. Never used Air Raid at all. So leveling Air Raid. I'm in 2 minds whether to level Brawn or whether to level Silverbolt. I think Silverbolt. Even wanted to level Star Saber, but maybe not. Don't quite do enough damage for me. 3,700. I don't know. I have to do a bit of testing with him, but yeah, maybe level Star Saber as well. 50k points to get, so quite a few bots I can level, but definitely Warpath, that's a priority. Then Air Raid, and then I can do Star Saber and Silverbolt as well. So that is the plan for the next event. And then I think during Endurance I might do Rodimus, and then I might do Brawn the event after, maybe. But yeah, that is the plan. Grand welcome to Team Warpath. Yeah, but I don't think I'll use him on every single base. There's some attacks where I look and go, I can see great value in using Warpath. And there's some bases I see people using him and like, I don't see good value in him here right now. And don't see point in using him. And so, yeah, I think I'll use Warpath. Because, how do I put this? I see some people using Warpath sometimes. And I think, it's very easy. Like someone said, Warpath equals 300. I think using Warpath is very easy. Now, the problem is, when it gets to a point where using Warpath gets that easy that you can 300, you know some sort of counter is going to come. You know that. And so I don't want to level Warpath all the way up and then there's some sort of counter. Now, they can't nerf him because he's doing as he should be doing. That's plain and simple. But a counter can come. And so, I don't know. I don't like having bots where you just can 300 because it's so easy with them. Because it kind of gets boring. You know, although I don't want to let my team down, I do want to have a bit of fun in planning tactics. And sort of, Tex laughs at me sometimes and says, like, you really plan your attacks, don't you? Like, to the nth. And I'm like, yeah. Before I hit a wall, I go, right, I'm going to drop this bot exactly here because it's going to walk this way and act like this. Then I'm going to take this out and take that out. And then I'm going to do this and then do that. And then I'm going to drop my combiner here. And I really plan it out to the nth. And Tex was like, I don't really plan that. But honestly, like, I'm honest with you. And I was like, I do. I always have. I really plan my attacks. And that's why it sort of kills me sometimes that, when I drop in wars. Because I really do plan these attacks to the nth. But I think that's why. That's what makes you good at base design, I think. If you can really look at a base and go, I see the holes in it. I see where the problems are. I see what the base is trying to do. And I don't want to fall into that trap. If you can do that, then once you start learning that, and you can look at a base just on the whole and just like this and go, right, I see where the problems are straight away. And I think you can start making your own bases and design your own bases around that. Because, like someone sort of said in the Horde chat the other day, that when you design a base, you look at bases that cause you problems and go, that causes me a problem, that thing there, so I'm going to create a base that causes that does that, and that's what makes a good base. And obviously you can't beat Mr. Josh Lang in terms of bases. Incredible base designer, much better than I am. But what I tend to do is look at some bases that cause me problems and just think, how can I change them? Because what happens is people see a certain base design and know how to beat it and then copy and paste it and go, right, I can beat that now. And I even do that. I can beat that now. I'm going to do X and I'm going to win. And that's what makes it easy. And that's why I like to change things up. And I'm going to say to people, listen, you're going to do that, but you're not going to get the same result as you were when you were fighting this base. It's just similar. You're not going to get the exact same result. It's going to cause some issues. And that's what I'm trying to do. And that's why you can probably look at this base and go, yeah, I've seen similar bases to that. But I'll pretty much put that they won't be the same base as this because I've changed it up a bit and made it a bit more different. In some respects, a bit worse. In some respects, better. So it just causes some problems with people. And that's why, even though I'm base 1 in War mostly, I think down to my outpost box. Because at one point I had a fully maxed base and I was still base 1. So I think it's down to my outpost box not being maxed out. As most people know, my bots are generally 67, 68, not quite maxed. And I think that because of that, even though I'm base 1, I still get people jumping on my base because I do sort of change my base design regular and evolve harder bases that are currently in the game. So, yeah. So have a look. Also, Phil, Wozza, do you think you'll ever revisit base or squad rinse videos? Well, if I'm honest with you, I really love doing them. I love doing them videos. I love doing fun stuff like that. But they didn't get a lot of views. So I was a bit like, I don't know, should I keep doing them or not? And then it's the time it takes as well. So collating all that information and putting it all in, and obviously getting a time where me and Grind Time both available at the same time. A lot of fun. I loved it. Really enjoyed doing it. Loved doing it. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, there's a lot of work involved in those base rinsings. But I did enjoy it. It was fun. But I just found that like a lot of bases were exactly the same. Really awful. Oh, we're still pretty good. So there is some awful designs out there. I'm not gonna lie, sorry guys, but there is. But yeah. Penny Lancaster Sport, how are you going to power level Warpath? Magna Boss, Zone 15, solo, drop Warpath. Done. And the good thing about Warpath is obviously it's got infinite range, so I can use Magna Boss and just finish the HQ with any HP left on it with Warpath. So yeah, pretty decent. David Awawi put there is an event where you can earn a token to pick any of the 5 from the 5-star batches. Oof. I know, but you got to think that it's a gotcha game. So although I like that, I very much doubt it would happen. Very much doubt it. Penny Lancaster, Warpath isn't working well for me right now. Maybe I need to max him out at 7 to 65. I don't know. I asked him in my chat what level Warpath would you see is relevant. It's around 65, 66, so maybe. Charlie Point, I mean, my Cronus and heal BBs already counter and he only works on some bases. I would disagree with that. From what I've seen, Warpath works on every single base pretty much, but he's obviously more effective on some than others. Shiny's put nothing can counter Warpath now. PL needs new effects that can manage those glass gases. Maybe, but then, you know, I've said when it came on for Warpath, I said this is pretty dangerous. It was pretty much, I think in Warpath I was on my own a bit. I think when I said that it's a bit OP and stuff like that, I'm just gonna shut up because everyone else was like, no, it's not. It's really good, and I was like, glass gas, infinite range. Oof, I don't know, but yeah. Shani's put true problem is the anti-air cores on the laser turret don't do enough damage. Yeah, I think you need all 4. That's a problem. Yeah. And the metaports are backloaded because of air raid and brainstorm. Yeah, maybe. I think so. Yeah. I'm not sure it's down to just them bots. Yeah, I think we went from a point of starving points and spreading out bases, to then the opposite of giving people too many points and making people starve later on. So yeah. Chris Taylor, I think top speed is something like Warpath. Nowhere near the range though of Warpath. Not quite, but still a good bot though. Grind time, not quite maxed equals not done yet. In other words, it's going to be. Need more grinding. Charlie players, it's just the meta bot is not an instant win. When base meta changes, it won't be as relevant. Yes, he will. Yes, when you've got a bot that can reach anywhere on the map, he will be relevant, I think. Especially with his glass gas. I really do. Penny Lancaster, I found you can use Roadbuster much like Warpath and White Side Defense in a line. Again, not quite the same because he hasn't got the range. Trust me, Warpath, I would not chance using, or I would not have used 10,000 5-star shards chancing Warpath when I have Roadbuster at 68. They did the same thing. I get where you're going with it, but they don't. From how it's used, it's not. It's basically Warpath is generally used to take out the FFD from the launch pad. Now you could say, well, you can use Smokescreen for the same effect. No, Smokescreen cannot quite reach anywhere on the base. It can reach about 2/3 of the base, but not anywhere. And so the idea is you use Warpath to take out Bellbots, so you can use pipes more effectively. And that's generally it. It's just to help with pipes, but yeah. Also, Phil, I definitely learned a lot from those runs videos. Too bad people that aren't watching them. Yeah, I thought they were good. I really do, but I tend to put it in videos instead nowadays on do's and don'ts of bases and things like that. But again, it's hard because I've had people sort of criticise going, why don't you do any more lower level content, Wozza? So I had to try it for a while. I did some lower level content. I did like tips for new starters, things like that. And again, didn't get much views. So, you know, there's people that say I need to do content aimed at lower players, but then I do that content and then people don't watch it. So you're like, well, obviously it's not that desirable. So, you know, the ones that get views are mostly obviously the new content videos, especially with combiners and titans, things like that. So yeah. Tony B, Roadbuster is a monster right now. He is. He is. Just got to be careful with him. He does run off and die a lot. Lanca's, but I know it's a power level, you noob. I mean, how do you plan on taking him? How far do you plan on taking him with XP cores? Around level 65 until I can two-shot Billbots, maybe? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he needs to take out some cores as well. I've got to do a bit of testing with him and I'll have to wait and see. But yeah. Rekgar can reach anywhere and he's not relevant. But Rekgar doesn't do damage. Rekgar's a healer though. That's the difference. Lancaster, I'm finding 5-star blue streak a great asset to my backdoor team. You've got 7 problems areas and I can bring Cup in. Yeah, very good bot. Like I said, very good. Joker, Smokescreen and Warpath paired with Glitch, even combiners go down. Yeah, but that's not because it's Warpath. Smokescreen and any bot with Glitch will take down combiners very well. So I wouldn't say Warpath is essential in that part, apart from Glitch. Glitch is the more important part of that part. Part. And Grind Times put running off is one problem, Optimus Prime has 2. True. Is the benefit, again, benefit versus the, you know, the negative, or, you know, which what you're getting out of it, you know, main thing. Cool. And next up, so spaceape this week announced the release of the new ranks of Captain, and I think we were all prepared for this, and we all knew it was not going to be an easy climb. We knew it was going to be something quite extortionate. So looking at the current ranks, he's already ranked up. Let's find someone else. So in terms of Corporal, it is 5,000 shards for Corporal. For Sergeant, it's 15,000. So I was expecting 25,000 for the next Captain rank. And spaceape announced it would actually be 30k shards. 30k shards. I'm just going to say that again. 30k. 30,000 character shards. Now, to give you an idea, we've just had the Dino Gate bundles, where they give a ridiculous amount of crystals out for next to nothing. And to give you an idea on them, I've still only got 26,000 shards of sludge. So they would basically need to do a Dino Gate bundle for every bot in the game for me to personally get any bot to captain. And so as soon as it sort of announced this, my initial response was, well, that's me not bothering with it. Now, if they brought this captain rank out and it gave me something substantial, I might consider trying to chase it long term. And I did a video a while back saying that, you know, when they do bring these ranks out, they need to add something more. 5% DPS and HP is not going to cut it. So when you add all this up, you're talking 60,000 character shards, and my God, that is a lot. That is a lot, guys. 60, and I keep saying it because it can't register in my head. 60,000 character shards to get a bot from nothing up to captain. And it gives you 15% HP and DPS. It's nothing. That 15% HP and DPS is not going to do much for your water team. It's going to help, but not much. And for the investment that takes is absolutely ridiculous. And I sort of started thinking back about other things spaceape have released in the past and how it's so disjointed from low, mid, and even high level players. I would consider myself quite high. Not the highest, I'm not the biggest spender in the game, but quite high. I spend enough on the game to be a decent player. And I think this captain rank is well out of my grasp. I think Sergeant is within my grasp quite easily, I think. But I think Captain is way out. And so you got to think it's maybe aimed at quite not a lot of people in the game. Quite a small percentage. But we're only up to Captain. We've still got more ranks to come. So it's 30,000 shards of Captain. What's it going to be for the next rank? 50,000? 100,000? Is kind of ridiculous. And spaceape announced, oh, don't worry guys, we're going to be bringing out some skips in the Cyber Pass. In events maybe. So they've done that in the 50k event for the Titan. They brought out a skip for each rank. And so I kind of think of it as they're bringing these skips out as quite easy to obtain. But then why is it so expensive? And I think that spaceape, I think it's one reason why the game has lasted so long. I think they are really cautious with the economy. And there's nothing wrong being cautious with the economy. Because you got to think, when you look at it in a real life sort of terms, you know, Hyro has this game and he balances it in terms of, you know, you got to think that people's jobs are on the line. If he ruins the economy of this game, the game will close down and people can lose their jobs. So it is quite a, you know, an important job he's got. But you've got to meet, I always say, and I've said it many times before, about dangling a carrot. You want that carrot just sort of dangling above people's heads and then sort of trying to grab it and go, you know what, a little bit of a boost and I can grab that carrot. But if you put the carrot, if I said, you know, this carrot is on top of a skyscraper, then you're going to just, well, what's the point? You know, if I said to you, like, you see these sort of videos sometimes, I know it's a bit going off topic, where they go, oh, there's a football and you got to jump, and not a lot of football fans might have seen it, jump and head the ball, and if you do, you get like £20 for heading the ball. And it is very high, don't get me wrong, but it is, you know, achievable by tall people that have a good jump. And people have a go, and it's free to have a go, and you just get £20 if you reach it. It's a bit of fun. But people will have a go because they start seeing it and go, you know, I might be able to reach that maybe. If they put that 50 foot and said, have a go at that, you'd be like, don't be stupid. I'm never going to reach that. What's the point in even trying? And no one would even try. And it's similar to this, that they put some of these things so far out of reach that it makes it unattainable. And I'm sort of going through, and I'm sure there's more. Put it in the chat if I missed any of them. But obviously ranks. Ranks is a big one. But you've got the Omega part. Remember that? They brought the Omega part out, and I had a bit of a joke with Dale, and I still refer back to it. Because even Dale, I can't remember what he said, but he sort of joked, and I went, really that much? And he was like, no, I'm only joking. And then it was like 3 times as much when they brought it out. Scandalous amount of shards for the Omega part, 5-star Omega part. Scandalous. Then you had the Shanix 5-star even. I mean, when they brought this out, you got to think, we're getting, was it 1,000 Shanix per week, I think it was? And they brought this bot out, and it was 50,000 Shanix. And you were like, so, I've got to save all my Shanix for 50 weeks, for a year, to get a 5-star bot. Absolute mental. Now, don't get me wrong, since they've added more Shanix into the game, and you found that what they started doing is adding more of that resource into the game. So they started off with a sky-high value, and then they go, right, let's add more in. Let's make it more viable. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. But the problem is that a 5-star bot back then was a really, really, good addition. It was something you really wanted because 5-star bots were hard to come by. When they brought out the Omega part, it was really, really desirable. But again, go back to these ranks. 5% HP and DPS is not desirable. It's not. It's not desirable at all. So you've got a feature that is really hard to obtain, but is not worth at all the investment. Now, I said that if this was a 5% or 10% increase in ability damage, I might go for it. If they say Captain adds 5% ability damage to any bot you make, then I'd be like, that's quite interesting. I might try and eventually go for that. But even then, the amount of cost involved is scandalous. I think I worked it out as it would probably cost about £1,000 to get a team of 8 bots to sergeant. To sergeant, not to captain. And captain is double that. So you're probably talking about another £2,000 to get your team to captain. So £2,000, $2,000 for 5% HP and DPS on your team. It's a lot. And again, going back to other things. So looking at even the Titan event. And we're talking about, spaceape and their economy and how they value things and their timing of things and things like that. Putting the Titan event right near Christmas, right after Thanksgiving, right in the middle of a saga, it's just madness. Why not wait till January? Why not make it an end of saga event like a bot? Make it like an endurance. That would make more sense. But there's so many things recently that the spaceape are sort of doing, and I'm not too sure where they're going with it. And the choice they're making are kind of questionable. And I sort of started putting a few things down. So even like resources, we said a while back that resources, 37,000 coins. 30,000 coins is about $100. So for $110 you can fill your energon. What are they thinking? And I've covered that in the past, I don't want to go over it again, but it's just another reason of absolute madness that they're doing. Then you've got obviously the character shards, the Shanix 5 stars, and then even the decision around Top Shot and Sidetrack and Growl. Top Shot wasn't that OP. I didn't look at Top Shot and think, oh my god, Top Shot is the most powerful bot in the game and he is killing bases on his own. Yeah, he was probably the best combat in the game. But honestly, I think, would you look back now and think Top Shot was much more powerful than Nightstick? I'd probably think on par, if I'm honest with you. I think personally, that Top Shot wasn't doing as he should, maybe they envisaged, but he was doing more, and they were happy because people chased him. But then when they were bringing out Nightstick, they thought, hang on a minute, this bot is doing this, add on to Acid, the way we want to go with things, that's going to be crazy. And then they thought, yeah, we need to change this. I'm not having for 1 minute that they never realised Top Shot was doing that. I think that they realised he was doing that, and then when they got into the whole fire and acid thing, they thought, yeah, we need to address this. But they left it too late. Left it far too late. You can't leave something for 2 years or a year and a half and then fix it. And then you got the sidetrack and growl thing. And again, so they've come in the chat and said basically we had 2 options. Because I think they didn't like the fact we were doing thunder drops. Now, the answer to that is that, let's be honest, when you drop a bot on the launch pad, the minion should drop at the start. What was happening was you would drop a bot on the launch pad, you would send it across the map, and it would separate from the bot after about 5 seconds, something like that. Around that time. And so the problem wasn't that you could drop a bot anywhere. The problem was the bot was dropping late, and so you could drop a bot on launch pad, send it to the back, and then Sidetrack and Growl would drop near the HQ. People dropping killing the HQ, especially in events. And so the fix for that is that the combat gets dropped as soon as the bot hits the launch pad. That should have been the fix. And although it would have obviously stopped people doing thunder drops, that is probably the more reasonable thing. But instead, what they did was they decided to change Sidetrack and Growl. Now, they said the 2 options were to nerf him, to reduce the damage. That's a bit unfair because he was balanced that way and we found really good use for him. Now, don't forget we have a counter in FFDs. We have a counter. And I've always said, as long as there's a counter, I'm fine with whatever bot doing whatever. And if he gets more powerful, then we'll look at that at the time, whatever. But he is countered. And they said that they didn't want to do that because they didn't want to ruin people's investment, which I'm all for. Bravo. But they said the other alternative is that he won't target the HQ. And it's a bit madness, really. Because I don't know. I don't think this combiners that won't do damage to the HQ. In obviously endurance, not endurance. In Zen farming. But to not target the HQ. And people have shown instances of Sidetrack and Growl just walking off in the HQ the other side of the map because they'll target whatever defense is left. They've shown instances of him getting to the HQ and just stop him. And it's just madness. Like, really is. Like, I find that most of the time there's a simple solution. And because that solution is too hard in terms of programming, or they don't have the time, like with most things, they choose a less desirable way of stopping it, or a sort of, I don't want to sort of swear, but half-assed way of doing it. And I just don't understand what they're trying to do with the game. And I sort of went in the chat earlier, in the playtest chat, and I said the biggest 2 problems with this game is having things out of reach of reasonable spenders. There are people that are willing to spend a decent amount of money on this game if things are in reach. And they alienate them all the time by making them out of reach by 99% of people. And then the other thing is bugs. Now, I've said before, bugs will happen. Bugs will always happen with every single game, no matter what. And because they're constantly releasing new bots and recycling old abilities and old material, then things are going to happen. And I accept that. That's not my issue. My issue is when something's been in the game for a year, 18 months, and then gets fixed. I don't for 1 minute believe that they've not seen that. They always say that all the apes sort of play the game at some level. If that's the case, then they should have known that, hang on a minute, this is not doing as it should. This acted a bit weird. You've got content creators like myself that make videos. I don't make it any secret. I bring videos out saying, listen, this bot is doing this. And I get criticised that sometimes. Of people saying, Wozza, why are you telling the apes that it's doing that? And I'm like, because that's what it's doing. That's for the apes to decide whether it's right or wrong. But that is what it's doing. And for me, it's not about telltale to the apes. It's about getting you guys so you can go and use it. And then it's up to the apes whether they think it's relevant or whether it's not, whether it's working as it should, or it's not. That's up to them. But I want you guys to realise that I go, oh, I've got this bot, I'm going to use that and find some use in bots. So there's that, and then there's other things where things are not brought to playtest at all, and then released, like we've seen with the new Blue Streak and the new Wild Rider core. We never saw that in playtest at all, and we've seen quite a few things, like this captain rank. It's never been brought to the playtest's attention. Never thought, oh, what do you think about this? And most of the time when they do, playtest will say, listen, this is not good. And then the apes will go to Hyro, and Hyro will pretty much say, yeah, we're not changing it. We'll keep it as it is. And that sort of lies in the problem, really, is that Hyro has his mind of this is where the game is going, this is balance, and everyone else in the economy disagrees with that. And again, I understand he's going to price things a bit high, but you've got to think of the value. That's the big thing for me. And so, you know, if they're fixing these things, if they're fixing some bots, they need to do it soon. It needs to be done quickly and efficiently. Like, you know what? God Neptune, Ruination, people are a bit annoyed about the fix that came because you could use his 4-star ability over and over. It shouldn't happen. It shouldn't have. It was a bug. And they fixed it pretty quickly before everyone starts using it. I'm fine with that. I know people are annoyed because he's doing obviously less damage, but it kind of was a bug. And they fixed it. Now, the same bug, if that had been a year down the line, I'd have been pretty annoyed because I might have invested in that or whatever, thinking that's the way it should be, and they've left it so long that it's a bit unfair to then fix it later. And that's what happened with Top Shot. That's why I wasn't happy with that. That's what happened with Sidetrack and Growl. Been out for, what, a year? Because we found a clever way of using it, they've gone, all right, now we're going to change the way the bot works. No. Make it work as it should. Solve the bug, not nerf the bot. That's the you know, the way it should be. And that's sort of where I'm at right now in terms of frustration around, you know, my frustrations in the game and why a lot of people do get frustrated. Is that the fix comes too late. And in terms of balancing new content, it's ridiculous in terms of the cost. And so I hope, I mean, I'm sat here thinking, I hope spaceape sort of see this video and make changes. But if I'm honest, I really don't think that will happen. This has been going on for so long that I don't think this is ever going to change. I think they'll always overprice content. And I've said that I think there's a bit of game's undoing. When this game eventually sunsets, I don't think this game will last forever. I think that one day it will sunset. And I don't think anytime soon, but I think it will. And when it does, when we look back and go, you know, it was a really good game, why did it fail? I think we'll look back and go, yeah, they made it too much of a money pit for some features that weren't that relevant, and so people weren't investing in new things in the game. People had old content that was relevant for years because the new content was overpriced and not very good. We can look at Titans, not very good, if we're honest. The Titan tech tree, not very good. Complicates things a lot. When we look at Alliance HQ, not very good addition. So they're pumping money into these development of these new things and it not being very relevant. And so I really do hope they can come up with something refreshing. As I said many times, some fresh in events, fresh in wars, fresh new content, new cores, just fresh stuff. Let's not recycle old materials of Combiners and Titans. Let's find some new exciting content. Make it achievable. Yes, of course, with a cost, we need to keep the game running, but make it achievable, make it relevant. Not a 5% increase for a captain rank that's going to cost you $2,000. And if it was that, you know, that good, make it, yeah, it was that expensive, it's so totally sort of revitalize your war team and turned you from a mid player into a top player for $2,000. I'd be sat here going, listen guys, if you've got the money and want to invest in it, then I will go for this because this is going to make you one hell of a player. But if you're a mid-level player right now and you're thinking of going for this captain rank and you think that will make you a top player, think again. Because that investment will probably keep you exactly where you are right now. I think that is the big point. So, in terms of the captain rank, forget it, guys. Don't bother. If you get the rant skips, then fair enough, that will help you. But in terms of balancing new content, I think spaceape really need to look at themselves and really invest in good, relevant content, achievable content that's going to cost money, but not a ridiculous amount. And I've always said, get everyone spending a little rather than 5 players spending an arm and a leg, because then 5 players leave, you've got no one spending. And let's see what everyone else thinks of that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, even talking about the weapons, even in combats. I mean, just see that in the chat right now. Chris Taylor's put, just put weapons. Just reminding me that even the choice around that, around bringing these weapons out, but then you've got. I don't understand this at all. Again, so they've said that weapons are going to be separate. Okay, but then you've got not here. Just go on Decepticons because I've got them all. But then you've got Tiger Chest, which is a weapon because it's very specific. So surely the Tiger Chest shouldn't be in the 5-star combat chip. And the problem is that these weapons are not going to be available until they've got 5 of them. And we've only got 2, is it? And so I don't know what they're getting at with these weapons. They should have made them part of the combat chips. And weapons, and someone said that I understand that they might have put the weapons separate because if someone pulls that out of a combat, say the Sentinel's weapon, and they don't have Sentinels to waste, that's fine. But then if you don't have Sentius and you go for a weapon, you're still in the same predicament if you don't have Sentius. You will never pull from the weapons maybe because you're going to get, what if them 5 weapons available, you don't have any of them 5 bots, you'll never pull for a weapon. So, bit weird, if you ask me. But Chris Taylor's put weapons that need to come to the game. Cliff Jumper Cannon with infinite range. I don't think so. That's dangerous. Or Wheeljack's Shock Blast Cannon. I don't mind the weapons, but it's what we can't have infinite range of gas, can we? Not with that area anyway, but hey. Candyman's put, I remember when Character Shard came into the game and I thought 7,500 for 4-star was a big ask. Yeah, me too. I thought it was big as well then, yeah. Yeah, Loki's put Major, Colonel, General. Yeah, there's so many more ranks I could do. And having them so high priced at the start is crazy. Grind time, it's not kind of ridiculous, it's very ridiculous. I kind of agree. You know, and you've got people like Grind time who, you know, I hope you don't mind me saying this, you know, that are quite high spenders in the game, or was at one time. And even those players that are high spenders are saying it's ridiculous. It's not just like myself as a mid spender saying this. It's the highest spenders in the game saying that is ridiculous. You know, and if they're saying it, then God. Blade 19 has put, none of my bots will ever get above Sergeant, that's for sure. Maybe, but apart from the skips. Matt Paul has put, it's one thing to be cautious with the economy, but it's a whole other thing over milking the cow. Agreed. Yeah, there's a fine line between, you know, I get that they bring out new content and make it more achievable over time, but they've made it so that it's like, they basically made it so you can't get it through character shards. You can't honestly get a bot through character shard. You've got to get the skips. So I don't understand it. Why not just bring out a token that makes your bot add more damage and DPS rather than the whole? I don't get it. I don't know. Pen Lancaster support. It's funny how other games survive and they don't charge near what SA charges, and they aren't gacha either. You get exactly what you're paying for. It's a fair point, yeah. Blade 19, useless content that no one can achieve, pointless and just a complete waste of their time. I think that's like a big point, is that they say their time is so precious. They've done so many projects, I think, over the last year that have had very little to the game. That's my point. You know, I think their Fort Max didn't add much to the game. I think the Titan Trek tree. What's the difference between the Titan Trek tree and a HQ increase? All that money they put into the Titan Tech tree, why didn't they just bring out HQ 18 And then when HQ 18 was due to come out, bring out HQ 19. You know, you look at the Titan tech tree. Let's sort of look at sort of a bit of defense perks. You know, cannon attack. You get an attack increase when you up the HQ. Increase shielding, mortar health, cannon health, mortar attack, health, attack. All these things would come with a HQ increase. Attack, cannon, maybe not range, but they could have done that as part of the upgrade. Wall health, build bot health, output bot health. 90% of these things would have come with a HQ increase. In terms of these, in terms of like extra damage, again, this could have just brought out level 70 as part of that, and then brought up maybe 75 instead of bringing a Titan check tree. And it makes testing almost impossible for some things, because you test something, you go, why is it doing this damage? I've had this in playtests, and I've had it done to me, and I've done it to other people where you're like, have you thought about a Titan check tree? Have you thought about this? And like, oh yeah, I didn't think about that. It's doing more damage than it should, or building's health is more than what it should, or something where the Titan tech tree has made testing almost, not I won't say impossible, but very, very difficult to understand if the numbers are right or not. It's doing as it should. I think Titan Tech Tree was a bit of a silly addition, if I'm honest with you. Sort of a lot of work for very little. What did Titan Tech Tree add to the game? Not much. What did Titans add to the game? I think they made leveling easier, but there was other options for that. They could have. They could have just increased XP and made Golden Lagoons better. And I think it would have had the same effects what Titans have. Because let's be honest, in Wars, they sadly decide wars too much. If you can beat the other Titan, then generally you will win most wars, because your Titan can take a lot of the base out. If you lose your Titan, then wars get very difficult. If you can take the base out before the other Titan wins, then generally you will win, because the Titans are distracting each other. So Titans have become an either, it's so vital that you have them, you win a battle. And it's very concerning at lower levels, because you see some people attack and go, oh, they've got a Titan, I can't win this battle, because the Titan's constantly attacking you. Whereas vice versa, if you have a Titan at level 20 and the person doesn't, you can pretty much wipe out any zone 15 space alone just with a Titan, and you can drop any bot. So it's kind of imbalanced. And I said at the time, you can't balance these Titans. Kind of said it really. So not the best addition. And then Alliance HQ, I mean, don't get me started on that. And then Candy's put, I've never used any resources from the store. Exactly. Why would you? Why would you? I've done it by accident and asked for my coins back, but never on purpose. Blade 19 has put, I'm still annoyed about the 5-star overload part. Especially when there are 4-star combiners that are much better. It's a fair point. Matt Paul's put, like 50k challenge, still my first 5-star bot. It took 15 months free to play to get my first 5-star through shards. Amazing how much it has changed with time and account growth. Yeah. Penn Lancaster, I don't see how it was too hard to reprogram the time combats dropped. In the script, it's set by time, so change the amount of time the delay is. You'd think so. Also, what Phil, I've always said that SA should be focusing on ways to get reasonable spenders to spend instead of taking the wheels for a ride. Yeah, or getting new players to spend. I think Dino Bundle was a great example. There's so many non-spenders that I saw that were saying, oh, I don't spend, but this Dino Bundle is too much to pass up. And that's how you get new players spending. That's how you get new players to go, oh, I can catch the higher levels up by doing this. And, it's annoying as well this week, because I've said for a long time that we need to make it so that people can get their bots through the research lab quicker. And their solution is to bring out another research slot for another 1,000 coins or something. No, remove the research for lower levels. Remove it completely. I think you should have a research for 50 and a research for 60. Yes, then people can use skips and skips are still relevant and people will coin it maybe, but 50 and 60. This, using a bot in a battle, putting it in research, using the bot for one battle, putting it in research, doing one battle, putting it in research, doing 2 battles, putting it in research, and in the meantime losing that bot for a week or a few days is ridiculous. When I get a new bot, I want to try and get it through as quick as possible. I want to get it through and I want to be using it. And you sort of, it's a way to stop people spending money, which is madness. Madness. I think the thinking of it is just cuckoo. I really do. Scrap the research lab for 10, 20, 30 and 40 completely. That will help people get them through the lab. And why have research slots at 1,000 coins? Why? Just give it to them. Just give it to people. Just give them extra research slots. Let them get their bots through the research and let them level bots. Honestly, it really frustrates me that. It's one of the biggest frustrations for me in the game for lower level players that I've seen. I'm like, why are you doing that? Why are you restricting lower level players? Madness. Absolute madness. Penn Lancaster, I have the new G metal for Blue Streak and it's useless. I'm using VM and glitch instead. Agreed. Awful. Really awful. It was frustrating as well for people to see them in the chat going, oh, I've just got Blue Streak G1, can't wait to equip it. And I'm like, mate, really? Go and watch my video, please, before you make an assumption. Please. It's awful. Steve Pierce's put, I started playing the game about 3 months ago and realised already I'll never have 5-star Mega Supreme without spending about £100. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there is ways, don't get me wrong, 5-star shards are easy to come by. You can do the Cyber Pass, which is obviously £10. But to be fair, you do get 750 shards. So there are ways to get it free to play by doing events. You don't have to spend to get it, but it will take you a long time, granted. But it's a lot of shards in it. It is. But there are ways for you to play. There are. Ricky, now I've got a complete set of the Cosmic Rust Blaster, 2, 3, and 4-star. It went downhill majority of bad luck starts and Victory Leo. I thought Victory Leo was alright. It was pretty good. Just the fact that if it goes on starts, it should be amazing because it's only that one bot it can go on. Swoop, I was loving Ruin Agent level 19. His 4-star ability is so good. Sad about this fix. Yeah, it was coming though. No other combiner you can use the 4-star ability over and over again, so it was wrong to be fair. Is it possible at this rate of 1 weapon every second saga there will be a batch of 5 weapons in a year? Yeah, exactly. I mean, think about it. I mean, Braun was out last, what, April? And Braun's still not in a 5-star batch. You're talking a year. So, once the endurance bots come out, you're talking a year before it's available in a batch. Which is madness again, a year. I'm all for exclusivity. For say maybe 6 months, but a year? Jesus. Candyman's pot. I just got a cold snap crystal and got 25 5-star shards. Yay. Whatever are even in those crystals? Doesn't say in the shop. Well, there you go, 25 5-star shards. Yep, waste of time like skins and avatars. What else? Candyman assumes nanofrast boosts are in those crystals. Maybe, I don't know. Was it posted any talk of reworking Blue Streak G1? Nothing at all. Not that I've seen. Penn Lancaster spot the Titan tree complicated things too much. This no longer does this. That no one does that. Immune to hackers. Yes. Yeah. They should have brought a core out for that anti-hack. Plain and simple. I think. Then you can choose to put an MDS if you want or not. Personally, but yeah. Chris Taylor, I think 7,500 character shards is too much for character crystals. Agreed. They need to make 2-star Titans available at all levels and go up to a decent level. Maybe, yeah. That's a fair point. I think so, yeah. Penn Lancaster, 2 weeks on research time is insane. I understand the level 61 maybe. Maybe not 2 weeks, but I understand how, because we've got skips in the game, so we need to keep them relevant and use them. So I understand we do need research slots. And I think that level 70 will be a research slot as well, whatever goes above that. So keep that in mind, guys. Yeah. Cool. So, yeah, I mean, I was talking earlier a bit around Ruination and around what I'm sort of doing, leveling him. So, at the minute, I don't need Ruination. I would like Ruination, but I don't need Ruination. The big question we're going to talk about later is he better than all of the combiners? Is he the best combiner in the game? And I still think that's a question we can sort of answer, but we've got no concrete evidence that he is the best in the game, but he could be. But here's my thinking. So spaceape have said that when they get all the bots for a certain combiner, maybe they will consider a 5-star version. So that says to me that people are going to look at the top bots in the game. So if we're talking the best combiners in the game, we're talking maybe Ruination. So for Ruination, we're just missing Whirl. We've got all the rest in 5 stars. So I think a lot of the community might vote Whirl for the next 5-star. That means we might get a 5-star Ruination. But will we? Will the apes do that with a new combiner? I don't know. After that, we're talking the likes of Magnaboss. Now, Magnaboss, we don't have any of these in 5 stars. And so, there's a long way to go. So I don't think Magnaboss will be the first or second 5-star combiner, but the first in terms of after Omega Supreme, in terms of making a 4-star into a 5-star, not apart like Omega Supreme, but making it needing the 5-star bots, which I think that's what they've said will the way it'll go. You need all the 5-star bots. So let's look at other combiners. So Streetwise is one, but I don't think people will vote for Streetwise because Defensor is not one of the top combiners in the game. And so I don't think people will vote for Streetwise. In terms of Skyrim, just missing Trailbreaker, so people might vote for Trailbreaker. In terms of Slug, they might, but Slug's not a good bot as a 5-star. It might get a rework, but Volcanicus is not the best in the game either, so I'm not sure people will vote for that. Then we're looking at likes of Computron. We've got Lightspeed and Afterbreaker both missing, so I'm not sure people are going to vote for that. And again, Computron is not the best in terms of attack, so I'm not sure people will. Opmax, we're missing Mirage. Although Opmax is decent, he's not the best, so I'm not sure people will vote for Mirage. Too many missing from the likes of Superion and Devastator, so doubtful. And far too many from Victorion. Although some con combiners need less, I think in terms of bot combiners, we're missing a few too many. And so, just from assumption, I think people will probably vote for Whirl for a 5-star Ruination to try and get that. And so, there's no rush to max out my Ruination, but I've got quite a few combiner skips. But let's just say that the apes decide that bringing a 5-star Ruination out will be too OP. They're going to look at older combiners. They're not going to look at the new combiners. They're not going to think, oh, let's bring out a 5-star Magnaboss, because Magnaboss is still relevant. They're not going to think, oh, let's bring out a 5-star Skyrain, because Skyrain is still relevant. They're going to pick one of the other combiners. And I've also said in the past, this is how I get ahead in the game, is by looking what might come to the game and saving resources. And my big thing is, if you don't need it, save it. Now, I know everyone is using their combiner skips right now for Ruination to get into 25 as soon as possible. But ask yourself, is Ruination going to make you a better player? If the answer is yes, fair enough, go and do it. But if you've got Magnaboss and you've got Skyrain, I don't think Magnaboss will make you a better player. I think he's good, but he's best in the game. Is he head and shoulders better than Magnaboss and Skyrain and Mega Supreme? I'm going to add you so much more. It's going to make you into a 300 player overnight. I'm not convinced he's that good. He's good. Maybe best in the game, but not that good. Not unbelievably amazing OP. And so, Space are going to choose one of the following combiners. The likes of Opmax, the likes of Superion, the likes of Victorion. Because they can rework those, even Defensor maybe. they can rework those, give them a 5-star ability, even Volcanicus. They can give them a 5-star ability and not make them too OP. So they can give them a 5-star ability and make them better than Magnaboss, maybe better than Magnaboss, but again, not head and shoulders, just better and bring out content where people will chase. And so me personally, I'm going to save my skips for this announcement eventually. Now, if they do decide it's Ruination, I'll have my Ruination max by then. I'll have my 25, and I'll still have my skips. I'll still have them ready. And so they choose another combiner after that. They choose that combiner. Right now, there's too many ifs and buts around 5-star combiners and who it's going to be if they do it. So my recommendation, guys, is if you don't need, and the emphasis is need, not want. If you don't need Ruination, save them skips, guys. It's very easy to be like, oh, I want to max them out as soon as possible. But another 4 weeks is not going to hurt you. Saving them skips in case they bring out a 5-star Volcanicus and yours is at 18, 19, 20. Those 4 skips will be vital. And any more you'll get in the side pass between now and then as well. So before you start using these skips willy-nilly, guys, before you start plowing them into Ruination, just think to yourself, with 5-star combiners probably on the horizon, who was basically going to choose for a 5-star combiner, and do you want to be left behind for a 5-star combiner rather than a 4-star Ruination? So think about it, guys. Carefully think before you start using your skips. And then Penny Lancaster's put Ruination is best. Is that since the fixes 4-star ability? Or Joseph Torillo, how's it going? Good to see you, buddy. Candyman 5-star Devastator. Maybe it was the original one, so 5-star Devastator. Maybe. Volcanicus and Optimus Maximus can need a buff, so them getting a 5-star is more likely. Yeah, I agree. I think some of the older ones that need a buff gives them a good opportunity to buff the bots and make them 5-stars. Yeah. High Corners, but just got 4-star Skylink. City good. Yeah, it's pretty good. They don't call him Suicide Chicken for nothing, though. He does run off to his death, but high damage, super high damage, so very good. Just make sure you combo on him right. But yeah. Pen Lancaster, I've got Magnaboss and Skyrain and Comp Max. Now ruins. There you go. But have you saved your skips though? That's the big point. Cool. LJ Gaz, but actually they fixed Ruination 2 and 3's abilities more than the 4. I don't know. I've not used them in the live server. It's just what I've heard. That the 4-star ability you could use it over and over. So maybe. Cool. Right, let's have a look at Ruination. I want to try and compare Ruination before treating other ones. Candyman's put all my combiners on max except Bruticus. Alright. Flex much? Joseph Chirillo trying to do Christmas decorations. Oh man, been done for months. Not months, God. That was stupid. For weeks. About 2 weeks ago we did them. Months, imagine that. Imagine doing Christmas decorations in August. Imagine. Why have I gone into my account again rather than test? What an idiot. Let's try again. So obviously, listen, I'm gonna I can't remember what base I've got. Whatever base I've got, I'm gonna use, guys. I'm not gonna start changing the base because people will say, well, you've just done that base because that suits Ruination or that suits Magnaboss or whatever. I'm just gonna go with whatever base is on the test server, whatever I've got. I can't remember which one it is. Whatever it is, we're gonna go with. Oh, there you go. This one, okay. Quite a popular design. Front loaded. There we go. So let's see what we're gonna do. We'll drop all the bots. So we'll try Ruination. We'll try Magnaboss. We'll try Skyrain. I might even try Computron. We'll put them all on the launch pad. I could clear the launch pad really, to be fair. I might clear it first to make it even because some don't have the range. But is range an important factor? Maybe it is. I don't know what to do. We might even do both. But oh, I realise I can't because once put one on attack, it's 15 minutes. Oh my god. I've got a 15-minute wait. Oh, this is so bad. Yeah, this isn't going as I planned it. Yeah, because I imagine I'd use Ruination for a couple battles and I go, all right, now we can use Magnaboss, but with a 15-minute wait, I'm not too sure we can. Don't think people want to hang around compared to Magnaboss, maybe, but yeah. Don't forget the eyes. Let's, in fact, yeah, I don't want to show the arc actually. Let's take him out. Sorry, guys. A lot of people would like to see him, but I don't think he's quite ready yet. I don't even know yet, but I don't want to show too much. I've showed the builds, I think, but I don't want to show him actually in game yet, in case he's not doing as he should. Try again. There we go. Candyman, I should remove the 15-minute wait for base trials. Makes no sense. Yeah. A lot of things should change, but hey. Let's see how much you can clear out. Let's have a look. Not much, I'm honest with you, look. He's not cleared much out there, has it? Maybe it's because of the healing thing. Oh no, my Forest is up there, so well, a lot of healing up there, but he's not done much there. Can you at least tell us the ETA when the arc arrives? Will it be late December? It's next week. Literally next week. The event's been announced. 50k. 50k for the 4-star part. Andrew Stevenson, good morning. Well, good night for me, but good morning to you. Okay, let's try again then. Yeah, he's not doing much. I don't know. Ruination versus Magnaboss? I think Magnaboss wins, personally. If we're talking wars. Maybe I missed something. I don't know. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. It's been so long working out his combos. It's been so long since I used him. I can't remember now what how do I use him. That's a bit better, I think. Yeah, that's a bit better. That's cleared a lot of it out. Yeah, that healing though is killing it. Need some acid in there. That'll be the next combiner. Acid. Just tidal wave over and over. I can't remember which one tidal wave is now, honestly. Oop, nope, 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 nope. Tidal wave is I think it's the first one, isn't it? Tidal wave. No, tidal wave. Okay, let's give it a go. Andrew Stevenson, it was Brawn and Air Raid. It was. Need to get in position first to be able to use it though. The base is healing faster than he can do it. That's the problem. Yeah, those healing cores are killing it. Not a chance. Yeah, it's basically the healing. Because he doesn't one-shot anything, he's doing some damage with one, then that's healing it, and then he's doing damage with another one. So, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Ruination and top level war. It depends on where the Micronus is. I mean, like, let's take Micronus out. I mean, I don't want to start changing the base and making it suit him, but let's try just change this around a bit. I'm just going like this a minute. Let's get that Micronus up there, out of the way. We do see a lot of bases like that, to be fair, but obviously primary hard mode as well, so give it a go. And again, we've not cleared the base out, so it's a bit of an unfair comparison. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. On par with Magnavox, maybe. I still think I prefer Magnavox. I think Magnavox would have cleared a lot more of that out than Ruination would. Maybe it's the base design. I don't know. I think I need to do some recordings, record it, and then maybe show it in stream that way. So I can actually show it rather than waiting 15 minutes here all night just watching combiners. But yeah, cool. But kind of put an idea where if you drop all the bots in a combiner team, then drop the same combiner, he will get a 25% boost for health and damage. Yeah, something like that, you know, so it makes you sort of, you know, congregate to a certain team rather than the meta. I'm all for that. We talked about synergy a while back, and doing things like that, and it never came to really fruition. But even Yannis said he would like to do that, but he never got the chance to do it, I think. So, like a lot of things, I think there's a lot of plans and things like, oh, that'd be pretty cool, and then just not having the time to really implement it, I think, in a lot of respects. Yeah. But that is it for this week. So a big shout out, big thank you to everyone that tuned in. Don't forget to hit subscribe before you leave, and don't forget to hit a like on the stream. So again, thanks for tuning in, guys. Don't forget I release content every Saturday, I think it normally is, and a Tuesday. So watch out for that content coming, where I split my stream into bite-sized chunks. People that can't catch the stream, and if you're watching this stream at a later time as well, thanks for watching regardless. And yeah, we will see you next Thursday as always, guys. Creeping close to Christmas, but we'll still be streaming, like I said, throughout. Other than maybe between Christmas and New Year, I may skip one stream, but other than that, we should be here every Thursday regardless. Thanks for watching, guys, and peace out.